Hello, gorgeous. Today's bag is the Gucci Gigi top handle flap satchel bag. We're going to give it a little review and a little bit of fun facts, sprinkle of some history and legacy of Gucci. This is a very interesting one, so stay until the very end and you'll find out why. Subscribe, click the bell, tell all your friends, watch this several thousand times. It's 100% free. I leave luxury bag reviews if that's your thing. Subscribe. Some key characteristics and fun facts that I absolutely love about this bag is that first off, this logo, if you recognize it, it looks a little bit different. It kind of looks like the logo that they're bringing back now with the latest top handles collection if you check on the Gucci website. And these bags are starting around 2,200 that are around this size. However, I cannot find this anywhere personally. I have asked several sourcers or people who source luxury goods or vintage, and this is definitely a one-of-a-kind piece. It's not only vintage meaning 20 years or older, but it's archival. So an archive piece is typically something super unique, and there are lots of special things that stand out to this bag. As you can see, getting to know this bag very up close and personal with its everyday usage, doing my homework on how to style it, where to wear it, how it could be functional. So first things first, this design was from the late 70s, early 80s, which is a very interesting time, and in my personal opinion, one of the most fabulous times for Gucci, because you can really see how the Gucci legacy was carried through travel and equestrian style, obviously inspired by Gucci when he was living in London, worked as a bellhop, was seeing rich people all day, getting inspired by all the styles. And he started out with bamboo handles, which are kind of the new Birkins. You can get some on retail, but they're really special pieces you can only get in store. Certain ones are not exclusively available for everyone to access. But this bag is even more so a collector's item. I have never seen anything like it, and I don't even want to just wear it every day. I want to admire it and truly have it as a collector's item because it's so unique. You can see this baqueta leather, which is treated leather. If you look up close and personal, how it's a full grained, it's very smooth and it's light tan, which also makes it stand out. A lot of the light tan Gucci bags that I have been seeing lately, or if you see them on resale online, there's a lot of damage to them, but you can also tell that they're real if they have this patina, and over time it ages very well. I love the look of aged leather, and it looks better as you use it. If you're conscious about the leather or the trim of the stitching, here it has very defined stitching, as you can see. If you're conscious about it, what you can do is get a twilly and wrap it around, and you can switch the different colors to mix up the bag throughout the seasons. It has this detail in the front. It doesn't do anything in particular functionality wise. It's part of the structure, and a lot of early Gucci bags during this period was very structured because in the late 70s and early 80s, if you notice the difference in the cultural divide when it came to alternative style versus classic style, it was so far apart, so different. In the 80s, everybody had big, luscious hair, very tan skin, bright colors, shoulder pads. Everybody looked very healthy. That was the style, and exuberant with a lot of bright, bold colors. However, classic style was differentiated simply by being itself, being more muted, being not very in your face. And you see this all throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where there was this cultural revolution going on. Each period was very distinct. So it made the old money stand out even more so. Literally only the elites, I know this sounds really weird, but it's an upper crust thing to have this kind of style. Only the elites were the ones who had this type of style, this type of polished looking leveled bag that's trapezoidal in structure, because Gucci was very much inspired by travel and all the luxurious things in life. So you would find a lot of this genre of women in Italy called scura, and they are women who are in their golden years, who have been rich for so long, and you can spot them everywhere you go, especially in Milan. Milano is one of my favorite fashion capitals in the world, and personally it's my favorite out of all of Europe so far because you can be dressed wild or very classic and nobody bats an eye. Where in other cities you feel a little bit more judgment. An Italian style and legacy is upheld within this bag. It's very neutral. This is obviously a daytime bag because the formal upper crust etiquette is to wear brown before 6 p.m. Once it hits 6 p.m., you wear your dinner jacket, you wear your blacks, especially in the city, but this is equestrian style, so it's going to have a more countryside feel, countryside inspired anyway. And this is canvas that is coated, so it's technically a more durable canvas, but personally, I would do everything I can to not get it wet, not have stains on it, because it's also a lighter bag, so it's more noticeable. You can't just rub it. Something interesting about this canvas is that now, today, a lot of the bags by Gucci that have a similar style to this might have more of a mesh material pattern that they use, that if you hold it up in the light, nothing is wrong with the bag per se on the outside. However, you might see a dark stain that looks like someone spilled water on it recently. And that's simply because the bag might be wearing. It could be on the outside or the inside, and that's a structural issue. I personally wouldn't use a bag that I have to spend another $300 at the cobbler just to get something fixed, because they have to take it apart, they have to redo it, they might even have to add new coating, depending on the damage, depending on what happened to your bag. I personally don't mind if there is some wear and if there's some life to the bag. It gives it character. You can see how personal a bag is by the way it's structured, by the way someone uses it, and by the wear of it, and how much they love it as well. I go full Jane Birkin sometimes with my bags, no matter the cost, because I love my bags. I love using them with every single outfit. Having a spill of documents fly out. I literally just had that happen to me to my other bag a few minutes ago. This is very interesting because during this period, what was considered a small bag is what I would call a medium bag. It's small to medium, not exactly full medium, but if you're petite like me, I'm 5'2.5", this is more on the medium side for me. It's the perfect medium, because it's not a mini bag, it's not a nana bag, it's not a tiny bag, but it's also not something that you can fit a laptop into or a bunch of books into. You can probably fit your black book, your little planner, but I personally would carry a very thin journal or moleschina in the spirit of Italian style. If you look here, this isn't any serious structural damage. This is simply coloring, which is very easy to fix, especially at a cobbler. The bottom is structured. So this Vachetta leather is typically known for having a silky smooth finish, but it's a full grain also, so it's very durable. It looks very pretty, and it's kind of hard to scratch. In my personal opinion, I wouldn't go banging it around on purpose. Just naturally, organically using it, it does have life, but it's leather. It also has give. So as long as you take care of it, you're good to go. This is the inside. I like the accordion situation, and this is a really good bag for your day-to-day. I personally would use this to go running errands. If you need to get organized, have a bunch of things to do at the post office, running back and forth. And this is the inside of the bag, and I love this emblem. This is a very special piece that I have never seen before, with an ensemble that is entirely colorful or softer with pastels, as I did today, and I was wearing a pastel coat, but also you can wear all black with this, all navy with this, and it still looks fabulous. It works because it's so polished that your casual outfits will be upgraded instantly. And this type of accessory just elevates absolutely your attitude, everything around you. So this is the back. It has, similar to the front, as you can see, the Gigi Marmot. There were so many different renditions of this. This was before the twist lock situation came out. Also, something that's very notable about this, it's pre-Tom Ford era. So when I say Gucci heritage, this is truly what I mean. You can see the style. It's very English inspired, as was Tom Ford actually, and is still today. His suits are styled after Savile Row, as well as Gucci suits. He started out with suits. English tailoring is where a lot of other designers take from, so because they obviously invented the suit. Tom Ford was an exceptional fit when they wanted to rebrand. There was no creative director or celebrity designer at the time. So Guccio Gucci's son, Aldo Gucci, was the creative director, and they had in-house designers, in-house craftsmanship. Everything was an empire from the inside. And that's something that they even pointed out in the Gucci movie as well, which is very notable today because I personally am very inspired by this time, this period. It's very Studio 54, all the Scuda with fawn over this, original Italian designers. So you'll see a lot of them wearing Loro Piana, original vintage and archival Gucci, but they'll put their grocery bags in it, and their hair is always coiffed perfectly, and a beautiful matching suit, beautiful silk knits and wool coats, and all the beautiful fibers. You can tell right away by the way they move, the way they present themselves, they are of this time, of this period of polish. This is what would be considered more of a travel bag, something that you wear and then you have your trunks with you. So this is like your, what do you call when you travel? There's like your immediate handheld bag and then a carry-on. That's what they allow, only 2 pieces of luggage. When you would take a train, you would have this and then your trunks with you. Another fun fact is the coating, the canvas that they have is called the GG Supreme. You'll notice they have tons of collections with this design when it comes to the GG Supreme, but also you will find some very interesting pieces, and I cannot find anything similar to this except for the padlock that we have today, and that's the closest iteration, closest incarnation of this style, because it's such a specific double top handle, which was very popular at the time, and it really stood out because it just makes you look so put together, which also makes it very vintage inspired, which also makes it very coveted by vintage collectors and collectors in general, people who not only love fashion, not only love the legacy of the brand, but also this style, because it's so specific. And anytime I type it in, it has a million different names, by the way. I'll have them in my blog post below with even more photos, much more detail, and all the things you need to know about this bag. So I will find other bags that are in this make. It's rare that I find it with this type of leather trim, but there are similar renditions of this, and they look a bit more on the tattered side because people love these bags so much that they use them till they're almost at their last breath. This design was in the period of this brand's foundation, this GG that you see right here. And they brought it back recently on their website with a ton of pastels that are gorgeous. And I have a feeling this revival definitely suits this period. This trend is definitely coming back. This is the time that logos were recognized, but they were even more refined, especially when the turn lock came out. But this one is a clasp that is magnetic, kind of similar to another bag that I reviewed. I'll have it linked below as well. And this is the lighter version. This is the daytime version for the people who like to collect neutrals. It's pretty easy to maneuver considering I'm someone who loves the comfort of a bag. It's not just how it looks. I get really irritated if it's hard to open, hard to close. Even if my hand is uncomfortable, I do a hand test. So if it's difficult, it's a challenge to take out things that I need right away. So say I would compartmentalize my things that I need immediately in the very front, keys, phone, lip balm right here, and then everything else that might be more private in the very, very back. Say if you need panty liners, compact face powder, then it's pretty secure here. When you're reaching in, people can't see everything when you open your bag, which I love. And also it's hard to be pickpocketed with this bag because it's a magnetic clasp. Did you hear that magnet? It's so easy, which I love. I love bags that are easy. This is what it looks like on my shoulder. These bags are currently becoming more desirable because the Aldo Gucci period is going up in price. These bags are getting harder to find. They're definitely legacy archival pieces. Compared to trendy modern pieces, these are going up in value currently. That's why I think Gucci is bringing them back and then updating them with a modern twist. However, this is absolutely timeless. This looks like it was made yesterday or today, and this looks like it's brand new. It looks like it was never really used, in my opinion. It looks so new. It's so clean. At the high end, it would be $1,500 on resale if you update it to inflation today, but it would be around $900 to $1,500 in this condition. You can find it for less than that, but they will be in a poorly tattered state from what I've seen so far in person and online and asking around. It's funny because quiet luxury was also something that existed back then, but it wasn't TikTokified. It wasn't turned into a trend as we say it regularly now these days because of Gen Z and the internet and social media pushing all this information to everybody who's glued to their phones, which is totally normal. You're probably watching this on a device right now. Gucci was capitalizing on that and made their monogram the ultimate quiet luxury symbol. So if you saw this back then, this was still seen how it is today. Fabulous, glamorous, luxurious. Even though Gucci was originally headquartered in Firenze or Florence, you will find this made in Tuscany. I personally love it, especially because it has my initials on it, Gia Garcia. So I find it, anytime someone wears anything Gucci with the GG, I feel very, very honored. It's personalized without me having to spend extra to get it embroidered on. The hardware might show light surface wear if you see different bags from this era, but it's really easy to polish and clean, so it's not a big deal. The main clientele that come to mind aren't necessarily celebrities that you see in the media, but at the time, and still today, but at the time when it this bag came out and was the thing that everybody was talking about. When this bag was released, it was mostly the upper crust. So say the Europeans who were socialites, Americans in Beverly Hills, this literally is a thing, specifically in Beverly Hills where we are located. Also, the Upper East Side in New York, one of my favorite places to spot fashion in America. Later, it was revived by people like me who love vintage fashion and timeless luxury like this, especially collectors. You can wear this to work. It depends on what your work is, obviously. I personally would, and then have a separate laptop bag anyway, because I don't like carrying my laptop with me all day and my shoulder hurts. So I think it's ideal for an immediate everyday bag. And I think even day to night. If you know the rules, you can break the rules. It's definitely a socialite situation. So if you have a luncheon, if you have a girls' brunch, an event, a business casual piece to make your outfit look smarter, or museum openings and galleries. So this is definitely something the cultured lady would love to wear. This is also when Gucci was known in a very serious way, to the point that it was becoming outdated. So I'm glad that this bag is back, and it's before it got really sexified with the Tom Ford era. This is often mistaken for 1990s Gucci because it was very close to that time and taking inspiration from this, because I'm pretty sure that the Gucci family said stick to what we know to the new designers later on, especially before Frida Giannini and Alessandro Michele. If we can even call it Gucci after him, because I feel like we should call it Alessandro Michele after that. And now I believe Demna is the one who is in charge as their creative director. So this is definitely a departure from Gucci, and anybody who knows classic style will be in awe of your bag. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I remember the first time I laid eyes on this bag, I wanted to put it in a frame, but with an open glass so that I can take it off and use it, because it's so stunning. The quality and the make and the craftsmanship are like nothing I've ever seen before. So if you want a little piece of Gucci heritage, you have it right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.